Today we're going to be talking about why you should get into buying assets. And I'm not going to harp specifically on any sort of one, but I'd recommend pretty much buy anything as long as it's tested to some extent. We all see what's happening with metals right now. Should you hop into metals? I don't know. Would it be a bad idea? Probably not. Probably not. It depends on your time preference with everything. It's the reality, man. There is no get rich quick. I mean, you hear about it, right? There's a couple people, but think about it. That's why you hear about it. Because it sounds sexy and also it's pretty crazy. Like, those are exceptions to the rule that you're going to hear. And obviously they're going to be way out there because that doesn't necessarily happen to a lot of people. Even people that are making really good money. Like, I know a couple sales friends that are doing like 40, 50K a month, and some well beyond that. It still takes time, bro. Like, they got to do this crap for a few years. You're not able to just put in $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 and hit something stupid out of the park. That's the problem. Is even if that does happen, you're going to want to do it again with a big amount. Now, why do I say just buy assets? Just buy something. On this channel, I'm really big on Bitcoin, not crypto, and with retirement accounts. I believe they got their advantages and whatnot, and it helps with the peace of mind to not be overly allocated to Bitcoin. I think you can use all three. They all got different perks and whatnot. But I'm pretty big on Bitcoin. Now, some people, they might be just as big on metals. They might be just as big on real estate. And to each their own personal preference. The point is that you're setting aside some of that cash to be able to delay gratification and reap the benefits of something that is going to grow beyond what we can imagine. This fiat and money has no intrinsic value. They're going to keep printing money. And so having your money not in cash, just in an asset, you will outperform cash. As long as it's not on some goofy individual stock, and I've made that mistake before, or if it's not on some goofy crypto, and I've made that mistake before. Stick to the basics, understand it's going to take time, and focus on what you can control. We can't control the stock price. We can't control the price of crypto. We can't control the price of housing, but you can control going out and getting a house or going out and investing and making more money to put in these. And also, so then you can afford a loss if one ever does come up. But if you're investing with a strategy and a pretty disciplined mindset, you're not going to take substantial losses like that. It's really only people that are either just getting into it or they're trying to skip a few steps. And sometimes it pays off. Most of the time it doesn't. Now, with this fiat debasement that's going on and cash is becoming worth less and less and less, housing prices are going to go up. How it's going to work, my theory, my game theory, is if you're at a job that's making $80,000 a year, you're going to keep getting your raises. Right now, average home, let's say it costs $400,000. Well, when you're making over some time, if you stay in the same job, you get up to $120K a year, and you're thinking, wow, I'm making more money. But it's been 15 years, and your purchasing power is diminishing, and inflation's out of control, and the cost of living has went up. If it goes up 5% a year, it's up like 70%. Housing's going to be like $800,000 or $900,000 for your standard single-family home. And you'll be convinced that you're making more, but everything costs more. And that's how it's always been. Things historically have never gotten cheaper. And that's why it's so important to get into assets now. And kind of be detached from the prices of things. You have to have conviction. You have to have discipline. You got to know what you're investing in and if it's a really good decision. You know, if I would have kept my Bitcoin that I had bought at 65K, I bought at the peak, absolute peak of the cycle in 2021 at 65K, I would be up right now. And at one point, I would have doubled my money. Now, I didn't understand Bitcoin, and I especially didn't understand investing in general. If I wouldn't have hopped with my 401k in a personal choice retirement account, I opened that and I put in an individual stock. I was going for that big payoff. I lost substantially, like 45% of everything I had in there. And those are all lessons that I'm glad I paid for now, because I know people, like I lost about 20K. And to me, that was a good amount of money. You know, it's roughly like, what, 30% of my net worth? Gone. And some people would try to get it back. I just want to get back to the basics, man. Just get back to the basics and hold things you know they're going to appreciate. Even things like these standard funds, okay? When it comes to your 401k and your Roth IRA, you have certain advantages with employer contribution and tax-free retirement money and all that sort of stuff. Even though those funds go up 10% and there's 10% of new money, so you're basically just treading water, I still believe they're good just for that peace of mind. The fact that you can have your money at least treading water, because majority of stuff is going under. Now, when you reprice everything in Bitcoin, everything's going to zero. And so with my personal money I make with my service-based business and the extra money I make without contributing to those, I'm actively buying as much Bitcoin as I can. And I believe you should have some sort of strategy like that. That's my strategy. It's retirement accounts and Bitcoin. They all have their own advantages. And I do believe, too, getting into a house, because you got to pay to live. I see these people that are like, oh, well, I could just rent and then save money on rent and not have to afford a mortgage because a mortgage is so expensive. And it's more expensive than rent. That's for sure. I think rent right now, get a nice place for like $1,700. Your mortgage might be whatever, $2,400. It's a lot of money for people. It's like $600-700 a month. And that stuff will add up. And if you could invest that, yes, it could be a big difference. Now, I'd recommend still getting in a house and working harder. Like I've preached on this channel, if you're not doing 50 to 60 hours a week and you're expecting something drastic to happen, it's just not going to. Even if you got a cracked out 9 to 5, I mean, dude, you got to be doing something else. You got to be doing something a little outside the box. If you're just going to your 9 to 5 and that's it, that's all you're doing, that's like a asymmetrical bet with only downside. Like, you already know where it's going to go. You already know what happens when you keep going down that path. And there's no downside to trying something else or to trying something in addition to your 9 to 5. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like I've told in this channel too, I've tried things for a year that have panned out, only costing me money. But I get to have a story, and I get to say that I gave it a shot. And I get to carry over all the things that I've learned into the next thing. And the next thing is going to work out. And it is working out, thankfully. Now, with that extra income, guys, just buy some assets. And I'll be getting more into a deep dive of exactly what and what I'm buying. And I'm going to break down February 1st coming up. We'll track the net worth, and I'll let you know exactly how much I made, what went to where, why, and get a little bit more in depth. But that's my talk today, is just to buy assets. because things will go up forever. The assets will go up forever as long as they're tested and they're not something completely just irresponsible. And the cost of living will go up forever too. It's never gotten cheaper, ever. Cars, insurance, groceries, gas. There's times where it peels back a little bit, but overall things are going to keep increasing and keep going up. And with the way that most people's jobs are set up, you don't get a raise to keep up with that cost of living. And I believe we only got a few years left. There's only a few years left where you can really decide to make a change and get something done. There's got to be some urgency. There's got to be some pressure. You got to be pretty focused on getting this stuff done. Because we all know they're trying to get rid of the middle class and keep dividing the wealth gap and keep you down. Now, that's kind of where I'll leave that. I don't want to go too deep into getting off on a tangent, but buy some assets and know what you're investing in and have conviction for the long term. If you have any personal recommendations or what you're actively allocating to right now, drop a comment. I'd love to connect with some people on here. This is all what I'm trying to build, is a community of people that are actively trying to create a better future for themselves, despite all the bogus going on, despite all the nonsense. They're taking matters into their own hands and realizing the game is rigged, so I might as well play it the best that I can. I can't change it, and that's that. See you guys in the next one, and thank you for watching.